What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another episode of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me, as always, is Robert DeFelice.
Well, Tony, it's early Tuesday morning, and I must say, I'm feeling fine. I'm sure you're feeling fine. We had a busy news day, so let's not waste any time, because these tags are hot, and so are we.
They're steamy. Some of them, at the very least.
They're like broccoli. They don't taste very good, but they're steamy.
Actually, broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables.
Depends on what you're eating it with.
You gotta have it like, a little bit of oil, a little bit of garlic, some stuff like that. You can't, first off, we're gonna get into a little snack talk here. Don't ever fucking boil any vegetables. I grew up with boiled vegetables, and no wonder I didn't like them. They're awful. You gotta fry them, you gotta saute them, you gotta steam them.
Sauteed veggies are very good.
Yeah. I've been eating a lot lately of Israeli couscous, like the pearl couscous, little like noodles essentially. You get that, you cook that, then you get in a pan, you chop up carrots and zucchini, garlic and onion and olive oil, fry that all up, throw everything together again, throw a little chicken or something or some salmon in there. Oh, so fucking good. It's like once every other week. Now I'm hungry as hell. So, yeah, we're in the hot tags. So if you don't know what the hot tags are, it's not about food. It's about the current events, the rumors, the news, the gossip, and everything else that's happening over the world of the professional wrestling circuit in the past couple of days. We're on number 372, kind of, or whatever. I don't know. Who fucking cares about numbers at this point? And we started off with just a couple hot tags, and then Monday Night Raw happened, and it was like, all right, let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about that. So it's just became one of those things where we got a lot more things to talk about here. But I'm going to start off with something that's the oldest story, and then something that's the newest story, because I'm just going to group these two together, which is they released two different specials on the WWE Network, one of them being Chasing the Magic, the Nigel McGuinness story, and the other one being Let Me Tell You Something, Gene, about me and Gene. So, Chasing the Magic, Nigel McGuinness story. This premiered after NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. And what did you think about it? I liked it quite a bit.
I do as well. I saw Nigel's self-produced documentary a while back, The Last of McGuinness, and this story, it's such a good story because Nigel was one of the best in the world, and unfortunately he had to hang up the boots. I get a sense of, and this is just personal, I don't know if I could be that close to it without being a little, bitter.
Yeah.
But Nigel handles it very well, and I'm happy for him that he's able to be a part of it.
I think there's contradictory points of view when it comes to some of those things. I guess it depends on what your situation is, where if somebody were to tell me I couldn't wrestle anymore if I was a wrestler, part of me would want to be around it all the time because it's it's passion and you want to kind of keep that going. But then, yeah, part of you is just sort of but then I want to just get into the ring and feel like you're always kind of window shopping, kind of. So I feel bad for a guy, and I feel really bad, especially when it comes to something like that. I thought, my limited knowledge of him, I thought that the hepatitis thing, that was it. And that was the reason why he couldn't wrestle anymore. And for him to say that he got over the hepatitis thing, and then he's got all these other issues too, and it's just fuck,
Yeah, it's a really tragic story because by all rights he should be as big as Daniel Bryan right now. And he's not. It sucks.
Yeah. And I had more faith in Nigel McGuinness when they were doing the whole thing of Nigel and Bryan were going to be coming in together. I hadn't heard I had heard stuff about both of them, and I hadn't seen too much to really differentiate the two, but what I had seen, I was like, oh, Desmond Wolfe. I know Desmond Wolfe from Impact, and I've liked what I've seen from him and stuff, so You know what I mean? Like I kind of was actually more into Nigel than I was into Daniel Bryan. And
I would actually have to agree with you. I found out because it was like breaking news everywhere at the time that, oh, these two guys got signed at the same time and Ring of Honor's losing them both. And I immediately went and found a match with the both of them. And Nigel stood out to me because of his character work, whereas I thought Bryan, as good of a wrestler as he is, was a little on the dull side. And yeah, I became a Nigel McGuinness fan instantly.
I will say though, as much as this was something that was kind of eye-opening a little bit and very sympathetic and everything like that, and I liked it, I still don't think he's all that fantastic on commentary. Like, that's not changing my mind about it. I still think that you got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 people plus 4 people that are kind of like in rotation on commentary when you count like Booker T and David Otunga kind of step in every once in a while and Coachman every once in a while too and all that. But essentially you have 9. No, actually you have 10 people, right? Because you got the 3 on NXT, the 3 on Raw, the 3 on SmackDown, and then you got Vic Joseph.
Well,
I think that's 10, yeah.
I think it's like maybe 8 because you're sharing Nigel.
Oh, wait, because
and you're
Corey.
sharing Corey.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It's about 8 people.
8, 9 people, whatever the case may be. You know, if you got like roughly 10 people that you're going around, I think that Nigel's towards the bottom of the list still. Like, I still put him slightly above Percy Watson, but I don't think I put him anywhere higher than that. And that kind of is like, I want to like him more on commentary, even more now, because I'm like, man, I really want this guy to like be able to have this career for his life and stuff. So, you know, that kind of made me sad a little bit. Like, you know, it's like,
yeah,
I like this guy even more now, and I hate that I don't like his commentary more.
I thought he was much better for NXT UK Takeover than at most events. Mostly because he's able to provide that like barrier because the fans there are so unique, and Nigel kind of reins that in a little bit. Kind of like Callum for us, the podcast.
I would have liked if Nigel would have clarified some of those chants, though. Oh, they're saying if you don't like Zach Gibson, take your shoes off or whatever. Like,
yeah, I meant to ask Callum, like, what's the deal with that? Like, if you don't like somebody, is your first instinct to just take off your shoes? Like,
some kind of colloquialism or something. I don't know. But that was one of the specials. The other one was the Let Me Tell You Something, Mean Gene. And
that was really good.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. Both of these are see it to me, definitely.
I really like the behind the scenes. Like, when are you gonna see Macho Man and Mean Gene discussing a promo before it goes down? That was really cool to me because you don't see that shit from that era.
I would have liked if they would have showed that footage from Confidential where he's like, "This is just in on Confidential. Wrestling is fake." That would have been good if they would have showed that clip.
Yeah, Gene was really good, and Gene, as we've said many times, he was more than just a nameless interviewer guy. He had character, and that's what I think people like the most about him, and will miss the most about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wasn't just a faceless person holding a microphone. You know, you could prop up just like a cardboard cutout of people with a lot of the people nowadays. Even when it comes to the people that we like, too. Like, I like Charlie Caruso a lot. I hope she sticks around for a while. I think that she's good for interviews. I think that she's good for hosting things. I think that she's good for the pre-show panels. But what is Charlie Caruso's thing? She doesn't really have anything. She's just hot and a good speaker. Like, there's no personality there. There's no feeling of camaraderie. At least Kathy Kelly gives a little bit more personality, I think. She kind of is like the quirky one to a certain extent. Renee is a little bit too, like she's kind of quirky in her own regards. Dasha still isn't yet. Kayla has no personality either right now. Kayla's funny on social media, though. Like, she was talking about drunk people earlier. But they don't give them a chance to really show that personality. That's a shame.
I will say there's a reason that Renee Young has been able to branch out as much as she has, and it's because she came the closest to showing personality.
She probably is the best interviewer type of person that they've had in I don't even know how many years. But she's still no Mean Gene. It's just
Probably since, and I know like people don't super love him, but probably since like Pettingill for me, you know? Or maybe like Coach, but Coach in spurts. Like Coach with The Rock was good because Rock made Coach mean something, and Rock made Kevin Kelly mean something with the whole, yeah, hey Hermie, yeah, hermaphrodite. Like, you know, it's a little crass in today's standards, but it gave him some personality.
Different times.
Well, maybe not so much if we talk about some of the stuff we saw on Raw.
One thing we can talk about when it comes to different times is that 205 Live is moving back to Tuesday nights because fuck Tony trying to keep a schedule, right? God. We had, over the course of, when did the Mae Young Classic start?
Like August, September?
August, I think. Yeah, I think it was August. Because it ended in Evolution, and Evolution was October. So, over the course of this past 5 months, we have gotten 205 Live moves over to Wednesdays. Mae Young Classic is added. Mixed Match Challenge comes on after SmackDown. 205 Live pre-tapes, so it's like, well, okay, you know, it's 205 Live, but it's taped. Then we get the addition of NXT UK. The NXT UK is on Eastern Time Zone. I think it was 4 o'clock the first time. Then it was an hour of
3, and then they kept making. Oh no, wait, that's right, because
it switched. I know it switched in some way. It was like
savings happened.
It was like 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then it was like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then 3 to 5. Double episodes. And then this week, I mean, not even going with this week. Then eventually we don't have the Mixed Match Challenge anymore. We don't have the Mae Young Classic anymore. And there's no reason for them not to go back to 205 Live being on Tuesdays. And they just don't do it. Now we've caught up with NXT UK. And NXT UK is a question mark. Because NXT UK can be 3 o'clock to 4, 4 o'clock to 5, 8 o'clock to 9, 9 o'clock to 10. They haven't said yet. I've seen reports that say that it's 8 to 9, but that's NXT's time, so I don't think that they would be pushing NXT back to 9 o'clock. So it makes more sense to me if it's 9 to 10, which is different. But I'm also seeing the 205 Live reruns are going to be 7 to 8, so that takes out 7 to 8 for NXT UK. I would think it would make a little bit more sense for NXT UK to be 7 to 8, and then NXT to be 8 to 9 the way that it normally is, but whatever, I don't know. Now 205 Live is back to being live on Tuesday nights after SmackDown. Unless they record it before SmackDown and then air it after SmackDown. If that's the case, then that's just all sorts of fucking stupid.
Well, and I would still maintain that, first of all, I liked the Wednesday night thing. I thought that whether or not people wanted to watch it, sure. But NXT UK, and 205 Live really acted like the perfect antidote to Monday Night Raw, whereas it's still 3 hours, but it's 3 hours of a different type of content, and it's very wrestling heavy, and you're getting different rosters every hour. Now, I still maintain, especially for the live crowd at SmackDown, 205 Live should be the first thing taped, and it should be aired at 7 p.m.
Yep.
On Tuesdays.
It totally should. And it should be the type of thing that they burn into people's memories. Because so many times I'm clicking on, and I'll be doing it tomorrow. Actually, no, I don't have to do it tomorrow because it's airing live. I was always checking the taping spoilers and stuff. And so many fucking times on Twitter, I would check out live tweets and people going, oh, hey, they're doing a dark match. Or, since when did they start taping 205 Live before SmackDown? And people are like, for fucking months. And there'd be like, oh, okay. You know? It really is confusing to me because I know that, you know, people like you and I, we're into this deeper. And we do our homework and we do that kind of stuff. But it's really confusing to me when I get people that like something and they don't know some basics about it. Like, I can understand if you can't recite to me what the finishing move for Travis Banks is. Because it's like, dude's new to the roster, maybe you haven't caught up on NXT UK, whatever. Or if you are a 14-year-old kid watching WWE and you don't remember the full lineup of WrestleMania 3. Okay. You know, you don't have to be a robot churning out statistics. But WWE should have told you enough by now that you know that 205 Live airs on Wednesdays for all these months. And that they recorded before SmackDown. It's just in the ethos, you know? Like, it's how things work. And now that it's moving back to Tuesday nights, you're going to get more and more people that are like tuning in on Wednesdays and they're going to go, wait, it's already fucking aired? And it's like, just pay attention to it, you know? Like, it's so fucking weird to me. I don't know. I hope that they really pay solid attention to ratings enough that they can play around with that 7 p.m. time, because that, to me, that's the key. You go with 7 p.m., you do it live, you've got a full crowd, and you use that as the lead-in. Like, seems pretty self-explanatory to me. I don't know.
And then, like, the crowd is dead by the time they finish SmackDown, and then it's like, well, here's the cruiserweights.
And you can see people leaving, which is never good. So, I don't know. I mean, ideally, they would put enough investment into that people wouldn't feel like they should leave. And people would be like, wow, you know, like the cruiserweights for WCW, where it used to be like, let's really like pay attention because the cruiserweights are awesome. And let's like go out of our way to see that Dean Malenko match or whatever. But they're not doing it. They're not advertising it enough because when they treat it like a redheaded stepchild, and it's obvious that they do it too. That's the thing. If you go on, I'm double checking it right now, but for the past bunch of hours, I've been checking. They still didn't have, and they actually still don't. Every match on the Royal Rumble card has updated graphics except for the Cruiserweight match. They literally have the Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar match up. They added a brand new thing without updating one match, and it was the Cruiserweight one. So that means in their mind, it's like, it's not even an afterthought. It's just not something that they focus on. And then when you do that, no wonder people don't follow through. So if they go through this whole change and they switch it back and then they're like, well, people weren't watching on Tuesday nights. Well, it's because you're not telling them to watch, you know? Do an angle. Have people show up. Promote the damn thing. Run some video packages. Devote some time on Monday Night Raw, you know? Maybe put the Cruiserweight match on something that isn't the fucking pre-show. Like,
weren't the Cruiserweights supposed to be the property of Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, then Mustafa Ali goes to SmackDown, so it's like, you never really know. Either way, there's potential positives, so can't really complain until you get some kind of a reason to, but whatever. Here's a little side thing. We're not going to talk about this much, but Eva Marie has joined the cast of Celebrity Big Brother Season 2.
Joining the likes of Lindsay Lohan's mother and...
Oh, that's who she is? I'm looking at the list right now.
America's favorite house guest, Kato Kaelin.
Yeah, we've got Kato Kaelin. I mean, that is funny. He's a washed-up pseudo-celebrity as it was and all that stuff. So that fits with the whole like reality show type thing. Didn't know that was Lohan's mom, but that's really fucking bad if it's Lohan's mom. I I know Jonathan Bennett is an actor. He was in the Van Wilder sequel. I didn't really do too much else. Oh, he was in Mean Girls, I think, too. Joey Lawrence is an actor. I don't know what he's been doing over the past bunch of years. I have no idea who Lolo Jones is.
Joey Lawrence being the kid from Boy Meets World?
Yep.
Was he Jack?
No idea. He was like the friend. Like
But he was on
the
Boy
brother's
Meets World,
friend.
he was Jack, right?
I'm assuming so. Let me double check that. Best known for his role as Joey Russo in Blossom. Okay.
That too.
Wait. So maybe we're not. Maybe this isn't the guy that we're thinking of. I thought that
Maybe
was
it's his
maybe
brother?
maybe it was his brother or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's
That's
the other
weird.
Lawrence. There's it.
What is the other Lawrence then?
Is it
Matt?
Matt Lawrence?
Matthew Lawrence. Yeah, Matthew Lawrence was the one in Boy Meets World. All right, so then who fucks Joey Lawrence?
That kid from Blossom, the one that goes, yo, or was that Matt? I don't know. Fuck.
Filmography I'm looking right now. I'm not recognizing him from any of these things. Yeah, apparently I don't know this guy. All right, so there's somebody that I don't know. Candy Bruce. I don't know. She's part
Name
of.
sounds familiar.
She wrote the song "No Scrubs" apparently. So whatever.
Oh, by TLC.
We got Ryan Lochte. Wonder if these people are going to have any kind of controversies there. Tamar Braxton, don't know. Tom Green, comedian. No, Tom Green, of course. And
Really?
running back Ricky Williams. And Anthony Scaramucci. Whew.
Ooh.
So this is not a good cast of people that I would really be interested in watching. I really, for the most part, would only be interested in watching Eva Marie, and that's only for the visuals. And now she has purple hair, which is weird, and she's tagging herself as Purple Rain, which is like, I get it. You think that your hair is like really fucking interesting. Yeah, this is not going to be something that I watch.
Real quick, it is Matthew Lawrence, and I'm significantly less interested because it's not the guy from Boy Meets World. And yeah, go Eva Marie, because God, somehow you're the gem in this house.
That's really strange, isn't it?
Purple, all purple everything, or
Purple Rain, that's what she's going with now. Yeah, that's not going to be something that you're going to be seeing coverage for on the website, but I know that some people, I know Frankie is into Big Brother, and you know that's some crossover appeal and stuff like that. And if you find anything interesting, keep us in the loop when it comes to that. Let's move over to the Worlds Collide tournament that was announced. It's going to be taking place at Royal Rumble Axxess. What they're going to be doing here, and this is really kind of confusing to me. A little bit of backstory with NXT UK, just to set this up. NXT UK recorded 3 episodes worth of content the day after TakeOver. So they have enough that they can do things for the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. However, they currently don't have NXT UK listed as having a new episode this week. So they're probably going to do some kind of like, well, I'm just going to re-air TakeOver, or we're going to do like a recap thing or something like that. Really a stupid cop-out. But if you're assuming that they do that, then you've got the 23rd, the 30th, and the 6th. That's going to be when they air those 3 episodes. The next taping isn't until the 22nd and the 23rd of February. So that means that they don't have material for the 13th and the 20th. Yet they are going to do NXT UK stuff at Royal Rumble Axxess, apparently. And I don't know if that's going to be when they air what's happening with this, or if this is separate from that. But it might be that these are just going to be episodes for NXT UK. It might also be that they're going to do separate recordings for NXT UK and separate recordings for NXT. Because the NXT thing, I don't think that they have a set of recordings until the 30th. So that's kind of up in the air a little bit. But the way that this is going to work is for the first day, they're going to do a 15-man battle royal. and the winner of that is going to get a bye in the tournament, and then the other 14 people are going to be set up in crossover matches between NXT, NXT UK, and 205 Live. They've got 5 people from each. 5 people from NXT being Adam Cole, Dominik Dijakovic. Wait, Dijakovic? I can't remember for sure. Dijakovic. Keith Lee, Otis Dozovic, and Velveteen Dream. The NXT UK group is Jordan Devlin, Mark Andrews, Travis Banks, Tyler Bate, and Zach Gibson. And the 205 Live group is Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, TJP, Tony Nese, and a superstar to be named, which they had already named, which is Humberto Carrillo. And now that is actually something that ties into 205 Live spoilers, which Buddy Murphy is supposed to be having a, open challenge of sorts. And it's going to be from somebody who's not in 205 Live, which that would be Humberto Carrillo. So kind of can expect that's the case. Already? It seems like that's pretty... No, that hasn't happened yet, but they had announced that he was going to be representing 205 Live, and he's going to have somebody who's not yet on 205 Live challenge him tomorrow night. So, it's pretty safe to say Carrillo is going to be the one that challenges him. And then they'll revert back to listing him as being on the 205 Live thing. So we don't know what the bracket is, because that's determining... that's going to be determined based off of the Battle Royal. They're going to do the Battle Royal the first day, and that's going to be the 8 a.m. session. The 1 to 5 p.m. session is going to be the tournament, and then the tournament's going to conclude at the 8 to 12 Sunday section, that block. The winner of this gets a title shot of their choosing from any of the 3 brands. That in itself is very interesting. Because technically speaking, I don't think it's going to happen, but technically speaking, Otis Dozovic could challenge for the 205 Live Cruiserweight Championship.
See, I like where you're going, but I'm all in on Keith Lee, that mountain of a man, challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship.
That would be fun.
And then you know what? WWE gets its own X division because, Tony, it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits.
They're like, it's 205 Live. You have to be above or below 205 pounds. If you weigh 205 exactly, well, then that works too. Why not? Here's a belt. There's a couple options I can see happening here. And of course, depending on what the breakdown is, because they said that this stuff's going to air on the network, that might be that it airs in place of NXT UK. It might not. It might be a special that they air. No fucking idea. They haven't said yet. If you want to know the information of that too, by the way, if I find out any information, I have posts on the website up about this, so I'll fill you in on that. This is the way that I'm kind of looking at this group. If Adam Cole wins, he challenges for the NXT UK Championship. The United Kingdom Championship, I should say. Because you could challenge for the tag team titles. You could challenge, technically, I guess, for the Women's Championship, but it really wouldn't make any sense. Or you could challenge for, the North American title or something. I don't think Adam Cole is winning. Because we've already seen Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne. What would be the point? I don't think Adam Cole is going to fight Ricochet. I don't think Adam Cole is going to fight Johnny Gargano. I don't think that Adam Cole is going to fight Ciampa or Aleister Black. I'm pretty sure Adam Cole just loses. Dijakovic, he could lose to Keith Lee. He could lose to Velveteen Dream. That's the one I'm thinking more so. Actually, no, they're going to be crossover things. So Adam Cole could lose to Tyler Bate. He could lose to Travis Banks, Cedric Alexander. That could work.
I'm actually thinking, I'll give you my spoiler for the whole thing. I think Cedric Alexander wins and goes to NXT.
That wouldn't shock me. He's on my list. It's potential to watch. I don't think it's going to... actually, I'll go through my whole thing real quick. I don't think it's going to be Cole. I don't think it's going to be Dijakovic. Because I think Dijakovic is going to lose from some kind of count out or some kind of bullshit. And if they go with him challenging for any title, I can't see him challenging the Cruiserweight title. I can't see him challenging for the NXT UK title. he would have to challenge for like the North American title, which would mean that Ricochet would retain, and then we're getting into the whole different kind of thing. Keith Lee would be fun. Dozovic, I don't think is a chance whatsoever. I think he's just losing in the first round to Dijakovic or whoever else he's up against. Velveteen Dream is a certain possibility. He's not 205, but fuck it, that could be fun. Jordan Devlin could definitely fight Ricochet, or he could definitely, I think he's in the 205 range. So that would be fun. But if it's Buddy Murphy, I don't think a heel is going to challenge him. I would actually rule out, yeah, he's 180 pounds, so he could. I would rule out anybody challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship unless they're Travis Banks. Or maybe Tyler Bate.
I was going to say Tyler Bate.
But I'm not thinking this whole tournament's built around that. I'm thinking this is more Cedric Alexander goes to NXT, challenges for the title, one way or the other, just on an episode of NXT, just to like eat up some time.
And then right back to 205?
Either right back to 205, or maybe they've thought that he's kind of done everything that he can do on 205 and they just put him on NXT. And then I kind of think that there's a possibility, at the very least, that Carrillo is somebody that they really want to do something with, and maybe he uses that, and he actually just challenges for the Cruiserweight Championship, and it's kind of boring like that. Because they can challenge for their own brand. It's all three. But I would be really interested if they did something like Keith Lee fights for the Cruiserweight title. And I kind of am hoping something like that happens. It's interesting, and that's the part that's the best thing about it. I think that there's almost like a no-lose situation.
When you have a network and you do cool things like this, it justifies having your network. And that just makes me happy.
Yeah. And if they air this as part of NXT UK, then that'll be interesting that they do that. If they air it as a separate special, then they'll probably do extra tapings for NXT UK outside of that. And you'll see, some kind of something or other reports when it comes to that. But whatever the case may be, whenever they start doing that, I'll be doing coverage for Axxess. I can't watch it, so I'm going to have to check out whatever the hell else other websites and other Twitter accounts and stuff are saying. But, something to be keeping your eyes peeled for, which means that there's one more fucking event, essentially, to do.
So while we're on the topic of the network, two things I want to bring up. First is something I'm just seeing now, and it's really cool. Starting next Monday, beginning with April of 1992, WWF Superstars is coming to the network.
They don't still have all that crap?
They don't.
How do they not have everything that was WWE related? That's so weird to me.
Well, I guess specifically with this show, the stuff before they branded to just Superstars, which I guess was April of 92, is like wrapped up in legal issues because of the name Superstars of Wrestling. So that's part of the reason there. But I don't know how they don't have Superstars and Challenge on the network, because it's like that was your Raw and SmackDown. And that led to so many big moments of your 80s era. How is that not on the network?
That's so strange. Because we're almost at the 5-year mark now.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Not almost. Like, the February 24th?
No, the network started with WrestleMania, didn't it?
No, it started with the Chamber.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, so we're just about at the 5-year mark, and it's like, you still don't have your own content? That's really weird.
So that's exciting for me because I'm a huge dork for that era of wrestling. Also, they are switching streaming service providers. They're going from BAMTech, which is now Disney Streaming Services, to Endeavor Streaming. Now, their contract just ended and they opted to not renew. I don't know if that has to do anything with Disney Plus and stuff like that, but they're moving to Endeavor, and they say that it's going to allow them to expand features. So that should be interesting.
And I know jack shit about Endeavor and all that stuff, so I'll take your word for it.
I mean, I know what I read in the Variety write-up, so it sounds interesting. You
Yeah,
know?
it could be some kind of a big thing that helps them change their infrastructure and the foundation is better, or they could switch over to something and everybody's network crashes. I don't know.
Oh god, I'm hoping for the former.
This is Y2K bug. That's what it's going to be. The whole time, this was Jericho's plan.
Right.
That's how they screw over WWE, and AEW makes it. They crash the network. What else we have for hot takes here? Oh, we got Monday Night Raw, all that shit that happened at Raw. So,
Yes.
we'll talk more about the Brock Lesnar situation when it comes to our predictions, but really quickly, Braun Strowman is apparently not healed up enough to be able to wrestle, so they decided that they were going to switch things up by having him get taken out of the match and fined $100,000 for having fucked up Vince McMahon's limo. And then they replaced him slowly but surely throughout the night, and ended up going to Finn Balor. So the Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar match that people have been bitching and complaining about for years now is actually going to happen, which I hope that you're happy, because Brock Lesnar's going to beat the shit out of him in 5 minutes with a fucking German suplex and an F5. It's the same shit. He's not winning the championship.
Well, Finn Balor may not win the championship, although I would argue that if you wanted to cement the new era, you could do that.
Right. I'd be okay with it.
Great match to showcase Demon Balor, and it better be Demon Balor, because if you don't pull out the demon for this, then don't bring back the demon at all. I'll say that right now. If you don't pull out Demon Balor for this, then don't have him at all. But
then people are going to complain that the demon lost.
Has he lost yet? No, he hasn't, has he?
I don't think so.
But we do
actually, he might have. Didn't he lose? He was painted when he was the NXT champion, and he lost the NXT championship. So
he only lost the one time to Joe in the cage.
Oh, well, he lost it again too, didn't he?
No,
he didn't win it twice.
When he lost it, when Joe beat him the first time, it was at a house show, and he wasn't painted.
Huh. Oh, never mind then. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for that, but at the same time, I don't want people to get their hopes up.
Now, I think that this match will actually be good, because Lesnar's had 2 good matches in the last couple of years, and they've been with AJ and Daniel Bryan, and Finn Balor is cut from the same cloth. So I'm hoping Brock Lesnar comes to play. I also want him to make fun of the demon, because by God, if Brock Lesnar doesn't mock the man for being like, I have paint on, let's fucking go. You know, like, the demon's a little hokey to me, but I think it looks cool. So I'll take it.
Well, they are switching some things up here and there, so I hope that I'm proven wrong, that it's not only a good match, but that Balor wins, because I'd love to be wrong about my prediction.
Yeah, and then you give Lesnar the rematch at Elimination Chamber, because it's apparently where they're going next.
And then Lesnar can fuck off and not wrestle at WrestleMania.
I still think they get one last WrestleMania out of it. But it could be against somebody like The Rock without a title on the line.
At that point, just have him fuck off. But they prove me wrong.
Raw, was it?
Yeah, they prove me wrong every once in a while, and they prove me wrong on 2 different things. One of them being that we had this triple threat, and it's Dean Ambrose defending the Intercontinental Championship against Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, and I'm barely paying attention to the match, and I have already pre-typed up Dean Ambrose retains the championship against Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley wins the fucking Intercontinental title. And I'm like, whoa, okay, well, I gotta hop on real quick and type up that he changed the championship and stuff. I dig it. I didn't see it coming. And this isn't like a surprise. Haha, we actually went back to like the old Intercontinental Championship design and we're not using the cool one anymore. Or, surprise, Hornswoggle is the new Universal Champion, or, something like that. This was a surprise in the sense that I just legitimately didn't buy into that the title would change. And I also didn't think that Dean Ambrose's next person that he would pass the title on to was going to be a heel, because I thought that he was just going to lose it to Balor, or he was going to lose it to Elias, and then they would lose it to somebody like Bobby Lashley. So that was shocking, and I'm totally for it. Bobby Lashley seemed like he wasn't accomplishing a damn thing. Now that he's Intercontinental Champion, he has more credibility.
I agree. I think it's a good move. I think it proves a lot of old school philosophies, though. Like, managers fucking work.
Yeah, if you can't talk and you get somebody who can talk that can talk for you, then that's kind of a fucking winning solution.
I really like it. And it clears up Seth Rollins for a Royal Rumble victory, if that's where they choose to go. My money is still kind of on either John Cena or a major surprise, but I'm thinking of the announced participants, Seth Rollins has the best momentum.
And this Lashley win and the switch over to Balor makes me... I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but I'm ruling out HBK anymore. And now I'm even more in the belief that Seth Rollins is winning the Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins is winning the Royal Rumble. He'll fight and beat Brock Lesnar for the championship at WrestleMania. And Lashley going into WrestleMania with the Intercontinental Championship frees up Dean Ambrose, but Ambrose isn't going to do anything special. I think that he could be in the title match for the Intercontinental Championship, or he'll just be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and that's going to be it. I don't think he's going to have some special side feud. I don't think he's going to be fighting for the world title. I don't think that he's going to be switching brands. Nothing like that. I don't think he's their priority. But it also kind of makes me go, well, then if Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble, who fights Daniel Bryan? And we'll talk more about this in our predictions, but currently right now, I'm starting to think that AJ Styles wins the title back.
And that's who?
Randy Orton. And that Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber.
But then what does Bryan do?
I think Bryan is like some kind of a generic side feud. It would not shock me at all.
So, until I'm proven wrong, and I could be at the Royal Rumble if AJ Styles wins, but I think it's Cena Bryan.
Could potentially be, for sure.
But if we're going to go the other way, I think it's Bryan versus Ray, mask versus hair. If there's no title on Daniel Bryan, I think it's Bryan and Ray, mask versus hair.
That'd be interesting.
Only because Bryan said that if he didn't get cleared, one of the things he was definitely going to do was go to CMLL and do a hair versus mask match.
Huh. Well, that might be a key to that, yeah. That'd be interesting.
So we'll
and you know that at somewhere down the line, Mysterio and Bryan are going to have some kind of a match. I don't know. But
again, that wasn't the only...
Right, that's the other thing too, because another thing that made me kind of change my perception about the Royal Rumble predictions is we now know what's happening for at least one match at Elimination Chamber. Because Alexa Bliss, during the A Moment of Bliss thing, she announced she revealed the Women's Tag Team Championship titles, which look fucking great. Actually, let's just harp on that topic for a little before we get into the other stuff. If it was this easy to create the tag team titles and make them look good, why the hell do we have those stupid penny things still? They need to redo them. And they should just keep this design.
All the roster belts need to be redone.
I'm okay with almost all of the belts right now. I like the WWE Championship a lot. It's my second favorite version of the championship. I've actually grown accustomed to the Universal Championship, even though I don't like that red strap. And I still think that the things that I put up on Sportskeeda are better. But, you know, the United States title is fine as it is. Although I think that they should revamp that a little bit. And I think that they should put side plates. I like the side plates. I want them to do that for all this stuff. The Intercontinental Championship, same thing. Keep the center part, add side plates. Those tag titles, though, are just awful. And given the option of replacing those tag titles with like male version of these women's tag titles, all you have to do is change where it says at the top of it women's, and it says, you know, tag team champions. Just have Raw, and then just have SmackDown.
Would you have like a red strap and a blue strap?
I mean, ideally, I would rather every strap be black for everything. But if they want to keep the red strap and they want to keep the blue strap, then, you know, at least the center plate looks better. Because these little Spartan head things are so stupid. And I hope that this means that they redo that. Because they don't have side plates for the tag titles. So at this point, do the side plates, make the center part look like the women's tag titles, and just have that be the case. You know?
Well,
even if they don't, it's a good thing that these titles look good. Like, I love these titles. They're as good as I could have possibly anticipated, you know?
I mean, and we've come a long way. And not to harp on the women's evolution or things like that, but there was a time where I feared a women's tag titles would have been like these pink, kissy, girly, like messes, and these are just the most classy looking titles.
Like I said, if you replace the word women's with Raw and SmackDown, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's supposed to be a women's title. There's no differentiating factors. It's white and gold, it's got a generic design, and that's the way that it should be.
I do like that the women's belts are, you know, grouped together by the white strap, yeah.
Which although the Intercontinental still is.
Yeah, I was going to say the Intercontinental title.
Which, to me, I think the Intercontinental should be a black strap. Yeah. It was a black strap for the longest time back in the day. Ultimate Warrior had a couple different colors. And
Shawn had the white strap. That was Shawn's thing. Or I guess Shawn had it when he beat Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Who had a white strap.
Shawn had it as white in 92, I think. If I remember correctly.
No, Shawn had a fucking baby blue one for some reason.
I know that yellow one was disgusting.
The Warrior one?
Yeah, did not like that.
What about a gold one?
Not a big fan of that one either.
Yeah, but for that matter, I think they should bring back hey, I'm Tyler Breeze and I'm wearing purple tonight. I have a purple strap. You know, change it up for the
Tons
look
of championships.
Yeah.
Well, we also know that the crowning of these titles is not going to happen at WrestleMania like I was kind of anticipating. Instead, what they're going to be doing is they're going to have that be the Elimination Chamber match, which is twofold. Number one, the teams involved, they haven't been announced yet. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Number two, that means that they might not necessarily have a women's championship Elimination Chamber match as far as determining who the number one contender is. So whoever wins at Royal Rumble, it's not necessarily that they challenge a champion and then they end up settling the score with who's going to fight the next champion, which is a really, really good thing in some ways, because to me, I've been saying this for a while and I'm going to still harp on the same point. I think Becky Lynch loses to Asuka and she comes into the Royal Rumble. Charlotte Flair enters at number 3. She goes the distance. Becky shows up at number 29 or 28 or 27, whatever the case may be. And Becky and Charlotte go over the top rope together and you get a double winner. Then they do something where it's maybe if you really want to drag ass, then it's well, let's do a match at Elimination Chamber to determine who gets the title shot, and it ends with a double pin or double count out or something like that. in that scenario, no matter what, if they have that triple threat, they're fighting Ronda Rousey. Even if they don't have the triple threat and they go with just one, that person's fighting Ronda Rousey. And if Asuka is looking for a challenger, she either has to fight Becky or Charlotte, which renders that triple threat moot, or she has to have some other kind of person who's challenging for her. And I had thought that the Elimination Chamber was the way that they were going to determine that. If they do the tag titles instead, they can drag this out to Fastlane now. That gives them a whole lot more time to try to build somebody up.
Whoa. I kind of gave you my rundown of the six teams that I think will be involved.
The 6 teams have to be those 6. It has to be, it's, for anybody who doesn't know, it's 3 on Raw, 3 on SmackDown. The 3 on Raw are Sasha Banks and Bayley, the Riot Squad, Tamina and Nia Jax. Because they're not going to pair up like Natalya and Ember Moon, or, you know what I mean?
Well, you never know, they might, just because, fuck it. But, like, the 3 on SmackDown, we have Iconics, Naomi and Lana, and...
Yeah, Ravishing Glow.
Mandy and Sonya.
And then
so that's
Fire and Desire.
A little uneven in that
it's definitely leaning towards
4,
Raw.
Yeah, it's like 4 heels and 2 baby faces. But the way I see this going, and God, we have so much time to talk about this, but I see it, Sasha and Bayley win.
Mm-hmm.
They fight Trish and Lita at WrestleMania. Like, that's just what I see. Is it what you see too?
100%. Because that's the match that matters. And what else are Bayley and Sasha Banks going to be doing? You know, are they really going to put this championship on Nia Jax and Tamina and do Nia Jax and Tamina against Bayley and Sasha? Nobody will give a shit. So they have to do Trish and Lita. And if you're going to do Trish and Lita, they're not going to do Trish and Lita against the Iconics. Or Trish and Lita against Naomi and Lana. That'll be the type of thing where they do the tag match. Maybe they'll do the Battle Royal again, you know, whatever the case may be. But that's the way that I see it.
You're guaranteed at least 4 women's matches.
Yeah, it would be the triple threat with Ronda, Battle Royal, the tag titles, and then the SmackDown women's title. Asuka against insert blank name.
And I'm still going with Ember, by the way.
I hope so. I hope it's not anybody that's like, oh, it's her against Naomi, or
it's her against Lana with Mandy Rose on the outside.
Yeah, I don't want that. There's only 3 options in my mind. You either go with Ember Moon, or you go with Nikki Cross, or you go with Lacey Evans. Which, by the way,
speaking of,
also funny, and I posted a small package about this. It's funny when you can read between the lines in WWE, where they have Nikki Cross come up on Monday Night Raw, and they go, well, remember everybody, they don't have a specific brand yet. They can appear on Raw or SmackDown until we figure this out. Which translates to, we jumped the gun when we announced that these people were coming up to Raw and SmackDown because we were panicking and we wanted to announce that there were some big exciting things happening. So it's, you know, apologizing for stuff and then going, we'll figure it out. And then they ran that video package like God knows how many times and got to a point where somebody must have said, listen, we can't keep running this video package. We have to do something. So then they went, oh, fuck it. I don't know. We can't really commit yet because we don't know what our plans are. So let's just say that they're available on both. Let's just free agent them because we can't figure out what we're doing. Which is really stupid.
To me, it goes back to my point of end the fucking brand split. Because now, follow me here, Tony. You have come out and said it's a new era, no more general managers. Okay. So that's
so now
bringing them closer.
That kills the whole purpose of Survivor Series.
Then you come out and you say, okay, it's a new era, and we have new superstars who have no brand allegiance because we haven't really decided. And then you come out and you say, oh, and here's your first cross-brand champion. Just get rid of the fucking brand split.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. Just have WrestleMania be all for one for all. It's a unifying show. That way you get around with this. You have Becky win against Asuka. Then you have Charlotte win the Rumble. And then you go, you know what, bitch? All three of them together. That's your unification of your women's match. Brock Lesnar beats Finn Balor. I guess AJ Styles beats Daniel Bryan. You have that whole thing of Paul said AJ wasn't good enough for Lesnar. And then, oh, by the way, John Cena wins the Rumble. He's got history with both of them. There's your unified world title match. And then you could do whatever the fuck you want.
And you give it to John Cena.
Yeah, I would.
I would.
I would. It makes sense.
None of that's going to happen, though. You know what we're getting? We're getting brand split for at least the next 5 years. Just the way that things are playing out. But at the very least, Elimination Chamber is going to have an interesting match because we're going to get brand new champions. And the championships look great.
They look so good.
We got a new Intercontinental champion, which is going to upgrade Bobby Lashley. It's going to upgrade the Intercontinental title, too, because when it's been on Dean Ambrose, and I said this before he even won the title, I was like, well, that's not a good fit for him. He's not, as a heel, a good champion. Because he just doesn't have a character that's like, you can challenge me and fight me. He's the guy who instigates the fights and stuff. So that's just strange. That's an upgrade. And now, more than I have for the past couple of months, I'm really confused about what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble.
In a good way.
That's, yeah, I'm like, you know, maybe there is a chance that, like, Daniel Bryan loses. Maybe there is a chance that Finn Balor wins. Maybe there is a chance that some kind of weird, random thing happens that, I mean, I'm not expecting Kenny Omega, you know, but, like, who knows? Maybe they do have some shit that they're working on, and they're just not executing, like, the explanation of it all that well, but I don't know. Very interesting. So this was not, like, a fun night as far as when it comes to, like, work. Like, me rearranging things, me having Skype problems and stuff like that, which none of you really care about because that's behind the scenes, but, you know, that's kind of a problem. And some different things like that, but it was a good night as far as kind of boosting my morale a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think that tonight's show proved that all you have to do is simply make things appear important. And they did that in the most simplest of ways. And yes, you needed Vince McMahon along the way, and even John Cena, but you were able to make things look important. And quick shout out to John Cena for his promo tonight, for bringing back the ruthless aggression line that he, you know, started his career with, and I thought it was so good. I don't know. I'm really excited for a lot of things.
I'm not excited about all of them, but I'm more excited than I was before Monday Night Raw started. And that's kind of their goal, you know?
Right.
So we'll see. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Any other hot tags you want to talk
about? No, it is 2 a.m, so I think we're good.
Yeah, we are done as far as the hot tags are concerned, but we also want to know what you guys have to say, so drop your comments below, and we also want you to be aware of the next couple of things that are going to be happening on this channel. Make sure that you subscribe on the YouTube channel and ring that bell for the notifications, because the next thing that you're going to be seeing is, actually, it's already posted. It's set for a premiere. I think it's 10 a.m. on Wednesday, which is, we recorded a commentary track for the 2013 Royal Rumble match, so that's very interesting. Go check that out and watch along with us. After that, this coming week afterward, we are going to be doing our predictions for NXT TakeOver Phoenix and the Royal Rumble Axxess, potentially. Maybe we revisit that a little bit, and the Royal Rumble itself, and then, of course, all the live coverage for all that stuff. And then following that, on the tail end of January, we're going to be doing the mailbag, so start thinking about those questions, everybody, and start sending them our way. Then, I don't know, then we're getting into, like, call the spot for the Elimination Chamber and Elimination Chamber predictions and so on and so forth.
I hope, since we're here and I can just call this out, Mount Rushmore tag teams at some point in February?
We have a blank one. Actually, we don't have a blank one. Possibly. Actually, no, we might. I don't know. This all depends on what happens with the Smark Madness tournament. We potentially have a blank one for episode 377, or maybe that's something to do with that. But yeah, might do a Mount Rushmore of tag teams for that. Might do something else if something else pops up. Plenty of things that are in the pipeline, even down to at some point when it comes out. I'm sure I'm going to watch that stupid Page movie and then do a movie review. So, pay attention to that stuff. And then we start getting in the WrestleMania season. We got fantasy booking WrestleMania. We've got Fastlane. We've got Wrestling with the Past for the Hall of Fame. A couple other mailbags. All the WrestleMania week stuff.
And suddenly it's May.
And then it's Superstar Shakeup, and then it's Double or Nothing, and then it's, there's a lot of things happening.
And suddenly it's June. The year's over already.
And once they start announcing Backlash and Saudi Arabia show, and
by the way, that was funny. Did you catch Braun Strowman tonight? He talked about facing Brock Lesnar at WWE World Cup.
Oh, he said that? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, he didn't say Crown Jewel.
I still love you, bro. Give him the belt. Give him the World Cup, too. Why not? Just go back in time.
Well, they gave him the Royal Rumble belt. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, just let him carry that around, too. Or let him bash that, because he likes bashing things. It's like giving a toddler a mallet or something. In any case, everybody, stay tuned to the things that we have coming your way. As I said before, subscribe, but you could also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at SmarkOutMoment. You could also follow the website and subscribe to the RSS feed and do whatever you want to do over there. Got lots of other things that are happening throughout the week, so just pay attention to those. FanboysAnonymous.com is my site for the superhero kind of side of things and movie reviews and such, so you will see a review of Reign of the Supermen. I'm going to watch that pretty much as soon as I start editing this. And then we're also going to be doing stuff when it comes to the Oscars, and there's stuff with Glass is coming out. If you haven't seen the 19 promos or whatever that they did on Monday Night Raw tonight, I'm still excited to see the movie. I'll be watching that Thursday, so I will probably do a review. Caroline might actually be joining me on that. And, just kept checking out the Fanboys Anonymous stuff there. Go to the Redbubble and the TeePublic shops for Fanboys and A-Mango Tees and Smark Out Moment if you want to buy any kind of merchandise stuff. There's also a Patreon account for Fanboys and a Patreon for Smark Out Moment if you want to try to help out in that way. And that's about it for plugs. You guys know the score by now. I say the same things every single week. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that stuff. Rob?
I also say the same things every week, but follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DudeFelice. Got a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm thinking about doing some potential loot crate unboxings and type of things like that over on YouTube. I just gotta get all that set up, so stay tuned for all of that. E-wrestling news, as Tony always says. WrestleZone is my home for your wrestling news. I do the WrestleZone daily over there. Got a lot of big things coming up on Twitch with WrestleZone, so all that fun stuff is fun. And check out the triple threat I just put up yesterday with the All Elite Wrestling Rally, and one this week should be coming up about NXT TakeOver Phoenix predictions. So thank you all for checking it all out.
Yes, thank you all for listening, everybody, and for all of your support, whatever the case may be, whether it's a like, a share, a favorite, a comment, some of those Patreon donations, whatever it is. Gladly accepting and all that kind of stuff. Always super appreciative. So that'll do us in for 372 edition of the Hot Tags, and we will see you in that commentary. Adios, everybody. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.